is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe with NEVERsate.com, and for today's video, what I want to do is just take a couple minutes to show you guys how I lay out my entire year's worth of programming. Also, really quickly, we're getting ready to run out of these blue Suffer Beautifully shirts, so if you guys did want to pick them up, check out the link in the box down below. Because once they're gone, they are gone forever. And back to the topic. So I obviously get a lot of emails and DMs, just people asking me about programs, because that's what I do for a living. I write people programs. So there is such a broad range of questions that I get, but I'd say one of the most regular ones that I see all the time is people want to know when it is time to cycle off of a program. Now, as with just about every single question that does have to do with programming, it depends. Depends on your experience, how it's going, what you've done in the past, what you plan on doing in the future, what your goals are. There are so many variables that come into play that it's not just a cookie cutter answer, which is frustrating, I understand. And then a lot of people will tell you to stay on a program until you've milked absolutely everything out of it that you can. The only problem with that is that I think a lot of lifters don't understand when they're not truly progressing anymore. Maybe they're making little bumps here and there, but it's not regular progress. So they should have switched a long time ago. However, I get so many emails every single day of people saying, well, I started with linear and I never moved to anything else. I've been lifting 1, 2, 5, 20 years. I've never moved to anything else. And guys, I'm just saying, if that kind of describes you, it doesn't need to be linear, it could be anything, then you're probably leaving a whole lot of pounds out there. Then again, that said, if you're jumping for program like every 2, 3, 5, 6 weeks, that's gonna get you absolutely nowhere either. So there is a lot of trial and error involved. However, I found for myself, what seems to work best for me is 12-week blocks. So I'll take 3 months and focus on one thing. Once I'm done with that 3-month block, I will focus on something else. Whenever people finish up one of my programs and they got good results, they want to stay on it. And I totally get it. And I encourage you, if that's what you want to do, you should absolutely do that. However, I always tell people that staying on a program is kind of like chewing gum. When you first stick that piece of gum in your mouth, it is absolutely amazing. You get all that flavor. It's terrific. However, the longer that you continue to chew it and you're running it, the less potent it becomes. Everything in life is like that. Now, I don't want to start any like self-fulfilling prophecy or anything, but I can say for me personally, usually at about week 16 of running the same program, things kind of start slowing up. Whether I'm bored or my body's beat up or whatever the case may be, it's time for a change for me. I cannot push past 16 weeks. But if I'm going to be optimal, before that kind of starts happening, I kind of get in that weird zone where stuff's not really increasing, but I don't see it yet, I stick to 12 weeks all the time. Now, also in this whole equation, for myself personally, I found that 4 times a week when it comes to actual strength workouts. Now, I'm not talking about other things like fighting, conditioning, those types of things. When it comes to actual strength workouts, hard strength training, 4 times a week is about where I top out. If I go more than that, I don't really get as good of results. And if I go less than that, I definitely don't get as good of results. And now that I've worked with thousands of different people of all different ranges, from world champions all the way to very, very beginners, I can say 4 times a week is actually what kind of works best for most people. So if you're wondering, I'd probably try 4 times a week, but it also kind of depends on your intensity and what you're actually doing in the gym as well. Back to trial and error. But like I said, for me personally, a 3-month block, 4 times a week is what seems to work best when it comes to me actually making progress. Now, I try to look at this like a report card. So that means if I have 4 workouts a week for 12 weeks, I have 48 workouts if I want to get an A+ on that report card. Every single workout that I might miss or that I really didn't put that much effort into, doesn't really count, and it takes away from my grade. Which means at the end of this 12 weeks, if I'm not getting the results I wanted, I can actually look back and audit myself and say, well, you're getting a D on your report card. Maybe there's a reason why. And if you guys have been fans of the channel for any amount of time, I just put up a video about a week or 2 ago about how goals sucked. And I didn't actually say that goals suck in themselves. What I was saying is how people track their progress towards reaching the end goal definitely sucks. So I come up with a tick mark kind of thing where you mark down and you're actually staying in the journey. I would highly encourage, if you guys are going to do this, that you go over to that video and you watch to get the kind of principle behind it and start applying that tick mark to this. Because now that you know that you need 48 workouts within that 3-month block, writing them down every single time becomes so motivating. I can't explain why, it just does. You should definitely try it because it definitely works. Which brings us to this whiteboard, because I choose to break up my training by seasons, like Santa. Yeah. But since NEVERsate Athletics is based in Maryland, for the months of January through March, it's pretty cold. It's wintertime here. It's not very sunny. It's always cold. We have an open door gym, right? So we can't open the doors up. Feels very much like you're kind of locked in a dungeon and you're just kind of having to work. So if you're gonna Quasimodo it up, you better get as strong as possible. And that's exactly what we try to do, is just drive up my base strength as much as I can within those 3 months. Now, when it comes to driving up base strength, for me personally, my body responds best to conjugate. So I do best with 2 maximum effort days and 2 dynamic effort days, and the rest recovery, and just drive. Really push on those maximum effort days, get ugly, do whatever I need to do, and then try to keep my speed and explosiveness up on the dynamic effort days. However, I will say after 12 weeks of that, I am pretty beat up. It always drives up my static strength numbers. That said, it beats me up like I'm getting molested by a rhino. So after those 3 months are up, that brings us into April to June, which is springtime around here. So it gets so much nicer. Sun starts coming out. We can open up the gym doors. I end up wanting to do a lot more things outside, a lot of event training, a lot of movement just because the world came alive again. So during this time, most of my strength stuff switches over to more like rotating percentages or even like a DUP or 4 horsemen type of programming, because not only do I need to lighten up the load a little bit to let my body recover, I also need to really work on my technique, all right? Because when you are doing a true conjugate program where you are really grinding out those maximum effort reps, things get ugly, guys. Whenever you're going for true PRs, things get ugly. So for 3 months, I've been smashing my face against tree, and now it's time to kind of clean up that technique and make it pretty again, because you don't want the bad habits to get cemented in. So yep, we're letting up the load, we're moving around more, we're also working technique, and don't forget guys, this is springtime, which means summer's coming up, and that means you're gonna be taking your shirt off more, so the loss of body fat with all those extra things absolutely helps. And I know a lot of you don't care about that at all, and I really don't care that much either. Out of everyone, I probably don't care a lot more than most people don't care. That said, when I'm in public and I take my shirt off, I'd rather look betterer than worser. But unfortunately, springtime here in Maryland lasts about 2 weeks, and we move on to a hot, muggy summer, much like a lot of you on the East Coast or in the South, right? You guys understand, if you work at a gym that does not have air conditioning and the doors are up all the time, there are certain exercises that you can't do anymore just simply because you're too covered in sweat. You'll sweat through a shirt just putting your knee sleeves on during your warm-up. So when I'm in that gross, muggy, very humid part of summer, like in the July type of this block, my training definitely ends up being a tiny bit more static. I will actually go back to more conjugate-based strength movements on the big four, but then my assistant stuff as well as my volume goes with more rotational percentages. So I would say something more like my Dark Horse program, if you guys are familiar with that. Something where it kind of mixes, blends a lot of strength stuff for your static big four, and then also kind of getting more eclectic and moving around with a lot of variation on your volume and your assistance. It was a lot of words. From there, I literally just tried to survive summer, because if you are anything like me and you have a complexion that looks like this, summer is not kind. Which brings us up to the final quarter of the year, October through December, when the fall comes, and this is my favorite time of the year. The air starts to get clear again, the weather starts to cool down. I am so happy here. This is where my body feels best. I'm so excited because like all the cool holidays are coming up. I like Santa. But since my body and my mind are feeling so good, it's kind of the culmination of all of this. Typically during this time, I'm throwing everything at it. I'm trying to get strong, I'm trying to get big, trying to be dangerous, I'm trying to be fast. I'm doing everything because I'm firing on all cylinders, and hopefully all of this built up to what's gonna happen right here. I'm gonna end the year on some big numbers before I have to start the next year rebuilding and doing it all over again. So yeah guys, there's obvious different variations. Like right now I'm doing different things because of all my vomiting. But as a general rule of thumb, my past couple years, I start out with conjugate for 3 months, move on to something like a rotating percentage or like a 4 horseman type program. Then I move on to something like the Dark Horse or a strong static program with some movement, and then I finish up the year with something more like my bodybuilder program. I said bodybuilder, power builder, power builder, power builder. You guys know what I'm talking about. Look, I hope this is very, very helpful for you guys. I've never actually laid out showing you guys what a year of my training looks like. Guys, it is so simple to continually make progress. It's just hard because no one wants to do it, because the change is tough. If you guys have been on linear forever or really linear for any extended period of time, that's fine as long as you understand variation very well and you understand CNS demands, because eventually that's gonna dry up the second that you get strong at all. Or in reality, what's more likely happening is that you are stronger than you think you are, you just haven't been able to prove it because you're still doing the same program. Guys, if this seems scary and overwhelming to you, just remember, if you search my name plus free programs, I have examples of every single one of these templates that I put out, explain it all down, so you guys should be able to spend a couple hours writing out exactly what you want. Check out those videos, see which one fits, what goal you're trying to do, and then just plug and play, guys. It's all laid out there for you. All the information is there. You just need to spend a little bit of time working on it, laying it out, and you can make progress literally forever. Forever. So there you guys go. I am so desperate to try to make the content that is gonna help you guys to actually move towards your goals. I know 99% of people are gonna watch all this and they'll take it in, whatever. It's not just them, they won't apply it. But guys, I'm telling you, the stuff that I'm telling you is proven, it's been tried. If you just do these things and you're just consistent with your tick marks and you just get in the gym, you follow the basic plans that I set, I promise you, you're gonna get so much further than you think you will. The hardest part, and why no one does, is because it's execution. A lot of people talk, not so many people do. And now it's time for the shameless plug. So guys, you guys know that this is how I make my money. So if you guys need someone to help set this up for you, or you guys went and watched the Power Builder video and you're like, man, I don't completely understand, it would really be convenient if someone did this for me, believe me, I'm your dude. I truly hope every single one of you takes advantage of every single piece of free content that I put out there and you never give me a dime. But if you wanted to, I'm cool with it. But I also understand that not everyone does have those dimes to spend. So guys, if this was helpful to you, you want to support me somehow, but you don't want to buy a program or a t-shirt, guys, please just share these videos with people that you think would help. That is my main goal, to touch as many people as I possibly can before I stop doing these videos, or I die, or I get hit by a bus, or whatever the case might be. I just want to be as helpful as I can while I can. And that is impossible to do without you guys. So I just want to thank you so much. Again, guys, if you did want to pick up a blue Suffer Beautifully t-shirt before they are gone forever, check in the link down below. Otherwise, guys, I will catch up with you later in the week. I thank you so much for absolutely everything you do. Go out, do something amazing in your lives. Keep working on people. Be nice to each other. Figure out your programming. Make progress forever. It's going to be awesome. See ya.